just love you so much. And as you know, marriage is very important with your dad and I.
Yeah.
And you're meeting a total stranger, but that's okay. That's all right. We were all strangers to each other at once.
Oh, Chloe's mom's speech really touched me and really moved me. And it seems Chloe herself seems very open-minded. I know there was a little clip of her saying, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. And it's like, why do producers want to create drama? Can they not have just one successful relationship, if not two? Why is it Love is Blind has more successful relationships than Married at First Sight? Could we probably maybe change the producers? Maybe. Anyway, I digress. Hey there, thanks for stopping by. It's Valerie. Welcome to my channel. I'm sorry for the late upload. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Married at First Sight, Season 17, Episode 14. Here we go, another episode of Married at First Sight. So apparently Becca and Austin are not able to attend because they're going to see his family. They did tell Michael that they won't be able to attend his wedding, but they were sending their love. And so you have Michael and Chloe getting ready for their wedding. Michael is very anxious, which is to be expected because he was stood up at the altar. And Chloe is just anxious that, she hopes she likes the guy and, he likes her as much. And for me, I'm getting sort of Kirsten vibes. If you remember Kirsten, the one who married Mitch, she really wanted to get married. And sadly, Mitch was all over the place. So I hope this is the case because Michael, I don't think the experts would have matched him a second time if he wasn't an amazing guy. So I hope they actually do work. I see he's had sort of a transformation since the wedding because I saw a clip of him from after the after party, and he looks like he's cut off his hair. He looks more sort of, I don't know. So I don't know whether they did say yes on decision day, but I'm happy that he's getting this opportunity and I really hope it works. It's nice to see that his friends are still supporting him and are there to lift him up if things don't work out. Obviously, he's anxious that at the altar she might say no, which is acceptable. I don't know why Brennan and Orion were the ones that came to speak to him. I would rather anyone else. I would rather Cameron, because for Brennan to say, oh, you just need to be open. And it's like, have you been open with Emily? Please take a seat somewhere. You've been horrible to your wife, and yet you have the audacity to give advice. And even Orion, you've been horrible to Lauren, and so for you to give any advice doesn't make any sense. I don't know why they should have said to him, we are the examples of what not to do. Do not do what we did. That's the best advice they could have given Michael, in my opinion. And Orion is talking about, it's a bit bittersweet. You decided you wanted a divorce. You decided to make a big deal out of something that it wasn't. And so please sit down somewhere. We have no empathy for you. I have no time for Orion. I feel like he treated Lauren badly. He doesn't deserve to be in the same space as her. So please sit down somewhere. I don't get why mavs want to replay the second option thing. This is something that came from Love is Blind, and they played it up, especially with Ayana and Jared and Bliss and Zach. So I don't know why Michael would bring it up. I hate this. And if they've done this just for the ratings, I'm really going to be furious. But he is worried that obviously Chloe is going to think she's a second option, but that's not of his doing. He is not the one who chose the first one. He is not the one who said no at the altar. So he has nothing to worry about. He is very anxious though at the altar. And I think he's talking a bit too much in the sense that, oh, my hair is going all over the place, this, that, and the other. And it's like, Michael, I know you're nervous. Even his friends are nervous for him. They know how anxious he is. And hopefully once he explains to Chloe what happened, she will understand. Her friends are saying they're nervous for her. And so I don't know. So all the other participants from the season are there. You have Emily and Brennan. Claire is there. Cameron is there. Maybe he's recovering from his procedure. Orion and Lauren are there. And they are sort of trying to I think, ease the tension with the friends, because the bridesmaids were really smiling and seemed very happy when they walked in. But they said they were nervous for her because she really wants this, according to her interview and confessional. So I hope this is what she expected, because Michael seems like a great guy. Is it me, or is Chloe too eager? Because she was very, very nervous. Even I thought she was going to run away at one point, but when her mum and her friend came and they put, the veil on her, she seemed to sort of calm down. And I like the words that her mum gave her, that, marriage is a struggle. we were all strangers at one point. It's not like we always knew each other. And so I think that sort of calmed her nerves. Apparently her dad is sick, so he's not able to attend. So it was cute to see her appreciation for her mom being there and her mom supporting her. And I really am happy for them, and I really hope this goes through. Her excitement when she saw Michael was unbelievable, and this sort of eased Michael's nerves, because Michael was very nervous. You could tell he was shaking because he's been left at the altar before, and I think the idea of this happening again would have just broken him completely. So the fact that he found someone, and someone who was happy to see him, and someone who really appreciated him, was amazing. She kept holding his hands, and he was the shy one. So I hope Michael doesn't turn into a Brennan. I hope he appreciates this lady. I loved their wedding vows. I loved Michael's wedding vows. Michael seems very committed. Chloe seems very committed, so I really hope they work. And it was sad to see Lauren cry in the audience. I think she was sort of reliving her wedding. Even Emily, you could see that there was some sort of emotion going on there. And I hope, if nothing, the boys feel the same and sort of remember where they were when they said their I do's. Brennan can still turn this round if he wants to, but if he doesn't want to, then good riddance. Chloe was really excited when they got married, and Michael was very anxious. And so once they said their vows and they left, he said he was happy because she embodied 3 of the things that he asked for. And so to see that in her, he was happy. And so I like the fact that before anything took place, he sat her down and told her what happened before. So he told her about the other couples being there to support him, and explained why. He explained that he was supposed to get married to somebody else, but that person turned him down, stood him up at the altar. And so she said, whatever's meant for us will be. And so for him, that was sort of a revelation. I think he expected a different outcome from her, or a different reaction, but to see her acceptance and her be at peace with that, I think she already likes him. She's already got confidence from what the experts said. And so to meet him, you could see her excitement as soon as she laid eyes on him, and she says she's attracted to him. So I hope he feels the same, and I hope Michael doesn't let us down, because she seemed to be really in it for the right reasons. Yes, they both love animals. That has been a bone of contention in previous seasons, but we'll see what happens. Chloe is in this, and Michael also seems like they're in it. I love their wedding gifts to one another. I forgot to speak about that. They were so cute, and the fact that they both wore them, it reminded me of Hailey, who was given that necklace and gave it to her mom to take. So the fact that she actually took off the necklace she was going to wear with her gown and put on the necklace that Michael gave her was amazing. And Michael also changed his cufflinks for the ones that he got from his bride to be, and that was amazing. I loved their pictures. They seemed very natural, very organic. It wasn't forced. Chloe really seems like she's really into Michael. Michael seems like he's still a bit guarded, I think, because he's worried that she might wake up tomorrow and say no. And given what all the other couples are going through, I think this is why. It was cute to see them walk in and be announced as Mr. and Mrs. and to see all the other couples there. And so then you have Orion wanting to speak to Lauren, and it's like, buddy, this is not the time or the place. This is not the time or the place. If you really were that keen to speak to her, you should have contacted her off camera and had a conversation. You just wanted your extra 5 minutes of fame. So that's why you decided to have this conversation, even though she said she wasn't in the mood. She didn't feel she needed to address anything. And for him to say, are you okay emotionally? What do you think, buddy? What do you think? You tried to break me and you couldn't. And so now you want to see if you can break me further. I like also that Lauren was able to sort of reflect on their marriage and reflect on her previous relationships and see how that sort of intertwined and created, this roller coaster that she struggled to cope with anything. And the producers were right to show Orion's bad behavior when you're saying, I can't forgive her, you can't joke about my culture. Some people joke about their pain because it's either you make a joke about it or you cry. And instead of crying, you might as well laugh about it. So if you don't see it that way, that's fine. But if she wants to do that with her background, that's still okay. You didn't like the woman you were matched with, went home, realized later that, you might have made a mistake and it was too late because Lauren has moved on. Now you're trying to pretend to play nicey. And tell us what your therapist said. We're really not here for that. Your time is up. You said you wanted a divorce. Please exit stage left. We do not have time for that. And then you have Chloe sit down with the rest of the wives to just sort of catch up and hear what's going on. Who in production thought it was a genius idea to have Brennan and Orion be the ones that offer words of wisdom to Michael? That person needs to sit down somewhere and keep quiet, because that was not necessary. These are two of the worst husbands. Well, they joined them, but the mafs trifecta of terrible husbands, and to have them try and advise someone on their wedding day is not necessary. And the advice that actually Brennan gave was very good. And it's like, so if you know all this, why are you not implementing it then? It's just a matter of do as I say and not as I do. Why not try and listen to yourself and do exactly what you're telling Michael? At the end of the day, you've got a wife who's willing to do the work, who's willing to stay married to you and put up with your crap. And yet you won't even put in any effort. Make that make sense? I don't get that. You could tell the wives were very nervous. They were trying not to say anything bad that might sort of make Chloe nervous or make her want to sort of change her mind. But they were all very excited. I think the one thing I caught on was what Claire said when she said that, imagine how committed Michael is to this process, because he's done it not once but twice. He was stood up at the altar, he was given a second opportunity, and he took it and he ran with it. If he really wasn't serious, he could have easily walked away, but no, he decided to continue in this process. And to see him and to see how much he's really trying to make sure that Chloe is happy is amazing. I think they have a good opportunity if they don't sort of turn away. And to see when they're cutting the cake, how goofy they were both being, see them dancing, the constant kissing, you can see they're attracted to one another. I hope they don't have sex on their first night, but I hope they start to get to know one another and build on that, and they just don't focus on the sexual aspect of their relationship. Otherwise, that's going to be the downfall of their relationship. Claire calling Cameron. I don't know. So Claire decided to call Cameron because she was very emotional. I think I did hint on this. This was a good opportunity for the people that participated in this season to sort of see where they started from and see where they are and see how they can make adjustments in their relationships or how they can move on, knowing for example, in Lauren's case, she's tried her best. It didn't work out. That's okay. That's not a failure on her part. There is a person for her. If Michael could get his person, she will find her person. And to see Michael sort of chatting to Chloe's friends and family and how they really seemed to like him and how engaged they were when he was talking was amazing. I was nervous there for a bit because Michael was speaking to her family and Chloe was speaking to Michael's family and friends. And so Michael, the good thing was he led with the truth. He told the family that I was supposed to have married somebody else, but she changed her mind at the altar and decided that this wasn't it for her. So she wasn't willing to marry a stranger, and I had to accept that and move on. So I'm okay with that. And her family, for them to accept it and not make a big deal about it was amazing. His friends sort of asked her, what do you think? If Michael, it seems Michael is a woody. It seems Michael is a fashion man and will want to, buy $1,000 shoes and whatever else he wants. And Chloe was okay with it. She said she should support him in that as long as it made him happy. And then came the question about children, and Chloe said, no, I personally don't want to have children. That made me nervous because I was worried that, oh my God, what if Michael wants to have children? Why would the experts match them together? Is this the reason why they didn't initially match them? And turns out Michael himself has never thought about wanting children because he's asked the same question, but he's open to the idea of either adoption, fostering, or having children if the woman he's with wants children. And so I think at least they seem to be on the same wavelength when it comes to that. So I hope it works out for them, because it would be amazing for Michael to find someone who he's aligned with, who wants the same things as he does, and hopefully have an everlasting relationship. The family were in tears as soon as he said that, which was sweet to see, and I was so happy for him. I really want this for Michael, and it seems Chloe is really serious and committed to getting married. So I can't wait to see what happens next. So Brennan and Emily have a conversation, and it's like, why do the producers do some of these things? These people are very awkward. This is not what you want people to see on their wedding day. It's really strange and very toxic. So Emily's sort of saying to him, this reminds me of our wedding. I'm getting emotional. And he says, well, I don't feel anything. I'm used to going to the same venue 1,000 times for weddings. And it's like, but that was your wedding, not somebody else's wedding. I think Brennan, if he could get his way, he would have asked to be matched with somebody else. That's the impression that I'm getting. And it's a pity that he's wasted somebody else's time for Emily to start enjoying herself because she's so heartbroken at the wedding. And then he's looking at her sideways and saying, I want to go home. And it's like, make it make sense. I don't get it. I really don't. I don't know why he's still in this process, whether he just doesn't want to pay the fine or whether he just wants the exposure because it's not a good look for him. I'm not getting it. So eventually you then have, the wedding, the bride and the groom leave. So Michael and Chloe go to their hotel room and they have to go through, the undressing, which is, routine for mavs. And they really seem interested. At one point I was like, oh God, the cameraman needs to leave because they've undressed there in bed. They want to cuddle. They want to do whatever they want to do. And the camera is still in their faces. They turn out all the lights and they're even turning out the candles and the camera is still there. And it's like, what do you want to see? What else do you want to see? That's enough. They've had enough. Let's leave them alone and let them enjoy themselves and get to know one another in peace. At times, the cameras, I think, are the reason why people struggle because it becomes a bit too intense. Anyway, I digress. Thanks, guys, for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And click the link in my video to watch my review from episode 13. Bye, guys.